So let's go ahead and go walk through an example of creating a bill in, let's click New Bill. And this is coming in from Truxton Property Management, our property that we are leasing from them. So we're renting on a monthly basis. And let's say that they are charging us for the month of July, so July's rent. So if I wanted, I can go ahead and put the reference in here, July's rent. Rent, quantity 1, unit price, $2,500. And we're gonna post this to rent. And this is the tracking category. So if you're utilizing tracking categories in Xero, you would also select a tracking category here. If it applies, you can also leave it as blank if it does not apply, okay? So that is it. We'll go ahead and approve that bill. You can also save this if you're still wanting to work on it. There are other, it's a long bill and you're entering these line items in here. You have to step away for a minute. I would just say as best practice, we want to save your work if you do plan on walking away. Now, I touched on this in a different video as well, but if this is an expense that should be billed to a customer, you can assign the expenses to a customer or project if you're using the established edition of Xero. Okay, so let's go ahead and click approve. So now we've got that bill in here for $2,500. Let's go back to the bills to pay section. And then because we had the ability to approve this bill on our own as the admin in Xero, this bill automatically shows up on the awaiting payment tab as opposed to be approved tab. So you'll see here is that Truxton Property Management for July 1st for $2,500. The last bit that I'll cover here is just the ability to add plan dates. So let's go through and add some plan dates for some of these other bills. If we are, let's say, paying bills on a weekly basis, let's say that I've selected, these 5 bills, we're gonna add a plan date and we're gonna pay this next Wednesday. So we can select all 5 of them at once. Let's deselect those and then select the next batch of bills. So I'm just selecting that first transaction, holding shift, and then selecting that last transaction. So now let's say that I want to add a plan date, not on the 10th, but on the 17th, because we can't afford to pay all these bills all at once. So what we're doing here is we're starting to plan payments based off the cash availability that we have in our checking account. And so you can start to see all these planned dates. Here's our next pay run. We're gonna pay rent today before we get thrown out of our rental space. And then we've got $2,500 that's going to be going out next week, and then $5,500 that's going to be going out the week following. So it's all about cash management. And the way that you can visualize this is by going into the business tab and then over to purchases overview. And in the purchases overview, you get a nice overview of everything that's happening as far as money that's going to be going out of the business. That includes bills and also purchase orders. And then by assigning these planned dates for these liabilities or obligations that we have in terms of bills, you could start to see this in the upcoming bills section and start to plan out, okay, well, I've got money going out on the 3rd, that's today. I've got money going out on the 10th, and then I've got money going out on the 17th. There are a lot of other robust tools, third-party add-ons that you can integrate with Xero to help with the cash flow planning and forecasting process. But if you're using Xero alone, this is actually a really great tool just to start to visualize how that money is going to be flowing out of the business.